Hello, fruit lovers and curious minds. Have you ever stood in front of a pile of watermelons, wondering which one holds the promise of sweet, juicy perfection? It's a common dilemma. But what if there was a simple, time-tested way to know for sure? Today, we're diving into the wisdom of the Amish community, renowned for their deep connection to the land and their traditional farming practices. They rely on keen observation and generations of knowledge, not gadgets, to find the best produce. Get ready to learn some invaluable Amish points that will transform your watermelon picking game forever. Before we get our hands dirty, let's understand the foundation of Amish farming. It's a philosophy rooted in simplicity, sustainability, and harmony with nature. They prioritize working with the land, rather than against it, using methods passed down through generations. This hands-on approach cultivates an intimate understanding of crops, from planting to harvest. It's this deep connection that hones their observational skills, making them masters at identifying peak ripeness. They don't just grow food, they understand its life cycle deeply, which is key to selecting a perfect watermelon. So, why the special focus on watermelons? Beyond their delicious taste and refreshing qualities, watermelons are a significant crop for many farming communities, including the Amish. They're a seasonal treat, a symbol of summer's bounty, and a popular item at farm stands. A perfectly ripe watermelon is not just a fruit, it's a testament to good farming and keen selection. For the Amish, providing the best quality produce is a point of pride and a way to share the fruits of their labor. Let's uncover how they ensure every watermelon is a winner. To truly understand how to pick a ripe watermelon, it helps to know a little about how they grow. Watermelons are cucurbits, members of the gourd family, and they thrive in warm weather, needing plenty of sun and water. They grow on vines, sprawling across the ground, and can take anywhere from 70 to 90 days to mature from planting. The fruit develops its sugars and vibrant color as it ripens on the vine. Interrupting this process too early results in a bland, less than ideal melon. The Amish understand this growth cycle intimately, which informs their picking wisdom. Our first key Amish point is the field spot. This is the creamy, yellowish patch on the underside of the watermelon, where it rested on the ground as it ripened. It's essentially where the sun couldn't reach the skin. A truly ripe watermelon will have a deep, buttery, or even orange-yellow field spot. If the spot is white or pale green, it indicates the melon was picked too soon and hasn't had enough time to develop its full sugar content. This is a crucial visual cue that Amish farmers rely on heavily, a direct sign of maturity. Beyond the field spot, the overall color of the watermelon's rind offers another valuable clue. For most varieties, a ripe watermelon will have a dull, dark green appearance, rather than a shiny, bright green. A shiny rind often signifies immaturity. Look for consistent coloring, free from any major blemishes or soft spots, which could indicate bruising or internal issues. The Amish know that a healthy, uniformly colored rind suggests a well-cared-for fruit that has reached its peak. It's about observing the whole picture, not just one detail. Perhaps the most famous Amish point for ripeness is the knocking or tapping test. Hold the watermelon and give it a firm, but gentle, thump with your knuckles. What are you listening for? A ripe watermelon should produce a deep, hollow sound, almost like tapping on a drum. This indicates that the flesh inside is firm and full of water. An unripe or overripe watermelon will often sound dull, flat, or too solid. It takes a little practice to differentiate, but once you get the hang of it, this audible cue is incredibly reliable. It's a direct peek into the melon's internal structure. Another simple yet effective technique is to assess the watermelon's weight relative to its size. A ripe watermelon should feel surprisingly heavy for its size. This heaviness is a good indicator that it's full of water and juicy flesh, which is exactly what we want. Watermelons are, after all, over 90% water. If a watermelon feels light for its size, it might be dehydrated or unripe, lacking that refreshing juiciness. The Amish, accustomed to lifting and handling many watermelons during harvest, develop a natural sense for this crucial weight indicator. Now for a more advanced Amish point that requires looking at where the watermelon was attached to the vine. The stem should ideally be dry and shriveled, sometimes even detached, indicating that the watermelon naturally stopped receiving nutrients from the vine when it reached full maturity. Even more telling is the tendril, the small, curly vine that grows off the main stem closest to the watermelon. If this tendril is completely dry and brown, the melon is likely ripe. If it's still green, the watermelon was probably picked prematurely. This is a subtle but very reliable indicator, often overlooked by urban shoppers. When assessing a watermelon, its shape can also give you clues. Look for a watermelon that is symmetrical and uniformly shaped, whether it's round or oval. This indicates consistent growth and even sun exposure. Avoid watermelons with irregular bumps, flat sides, or odd indentations, as these can be signs of inconsistent watering, uneven sun, or growth interruptions. While not always a deal breaker, an oddly shaped melon might have inconsistencies in its flesh. The Amish value a well-formed fruit, knowing it reflects a healthy growing process. While the field spot is a good blemish, other types of blemishes can indicate problems. Avoid watermelons with deep cuts, soft spots, significant bruising, or signs of mold. These can be entry points for bacteria or simply indicate damaged flesh inside. Minor scratches or webbing, those brown, rough lines, are actually good signs, as they indicate where bees have pollinated the flower, suggesting a sweeter fruit. But major damage? Steer clear. Amish farmers are meticulous about sorting, ensuring only the highest quality, undamaged produce makes it to their market stands. Why do these Amish points work? It all comes down to the science of ripening. As a watermelon matures on the vine, the process of photosynthesis converts sunlight into sugars, which are then stored in the fruit. The changes we observe, the field spot color, the dry tendril, the hollow sound, are all indicators that this sugar production has reached its peak and the fruit is ready. If picked too early, these processes are interrupted, and the melon won't ever achieve its full sweetness or juiciness. The Amish understand these natural cycles deeply, making their observations incredibly accurate. The Amish often prefer heirloom varieties of fruits and vegetables, and watermelons are no exception. Heirloom seeds are open-pollinated varieties that have been passed down through generations, often prized for their unique flavors, textures, and resistance to local pests. Unlike hybrid seeds, heirlooms can be saved and replanted year after year, maintaining genetic diversity. This focus on tradition extends to the qualities of the fruit itself, often leading to incredibly flavorful watermelons that taste distinctly different from those found in conventional grocery stores. They truly appreciate a connection to agricultural heritage. Central to Amish farming is the commitment to organic and sustainable practices. They typically avoid synthetic pesticides, herbicides, and chemical fertilizers, relying instead on natural methods like crop rotation, composting, and companion planting to maintain soil health. Healthy, nutrient-rich soil is paramount for growing robust, flavorful watermelons. It directly impacts the fruit's ability to absorb essential minerals and develop its full sweet potential. This dedication to natural cultivation means their watermelons often taste purer and more intense. But quality starts from the ground up. Sunlight is absolutely critical for growing sweet watermelons. As we discussed earlier, photosynthesis is the process where plants convert light energy into sugars. The more consistent and abundant the sunlight, the more effectively the watermelon can develop its sweetness. Amish farms, often located in open, sunny areas, provide ideal conditions for their crops. Farmers carefully space their plants to ensure each watermelon receives ample sunshine, knowing that a sun-kissed melon is a sweet melon. This isn't just theory, it's a practice deeply embedded in their agricultural approach. While sunlight builds sugars, consistent and adequate watering is essential for juicy watermelons. Water makes up the bulk of the fruit, and irregular watering can lead to dry, mealy, or even cracked melons. Amish farmers are attuned to the specific needs of their plants, often relying on rainfall and traditional irrigation methods to ensure the vines receive the right amount of moisture. Overwatering can dilute flavor, while underwatering can stunt growth. It's a delicate balance, and their hands-on observation allows them to adjust their methods based on weather and plant health. For a watermelon to even begin to form, pollination is absolutely vital. Bees and other insects play a crucial role in transferring pollen from male to female flowers, leading to fruit set. Amish farms, with their chemical-free environments and diverse plantings, create welcoming habitats for pollinators. They understand that a healthy bee population directly translates to a bountiful harvest. Those webbing marks we mentioned earlier? They're often a visible sign of happy bees at work, indicating good pollination and usually a sweeter, well-developed fruit. It's nature's way of ensuring quality. Without relying on synthetic pesticides, Amish farmers employ a variety of natural pest management strategies. These can include companion planting, crop rotation, hand-picking pests, and encouraging beneficial insects. Protecting their watermelon crops from pests ensures the fruit grows undisturbed and healthy, without any chemical residues. This dedication to natural methods means the watermelons are not only safer to eat but often possess a more robust, natural flavor profile, untouched by artificial interventions. It's another way their philosophy translates directly into better produce. Perhaps one of the most important, yet intangible, Amish points is patience. They understand that nature cannot be rushed. A watermelon must be allowed to ripen fully on the vine for optimal sweetness and flavor. Picking it prematurely simply won't yield the same results, no matter how good the other indicators are. This patience is a reflection of their lifestyle, a slower pace that honors natural processes. It's a stark contrast to commercial farming where speed and yield often take precedence. For the Amish, quality always trumps haste. When it's finally time for harvest, Amish farmers employ careful, hand-picking techniques. Each watermelon is individually assessed using all the points we've discussed. They gently lift, inspect, tap, and then carefully cut the stem with a knife, leaving a short stub. This manual approach minimizes damage to the fruit and ensures only the ripest melons are selected. It's a labor-intensive process, but it guarantees quality and preserves the integrity of each melon, ready for market or family consumption. This isn't mass production, it's a careful selection process. Once you've picked your perfect watermelon using these Amish-inspired tips, proper storage is key to maintaining its freshness. Whole, uncut watermelons can be stored at room temperature for about 1 to 2 weeks. Once cut, however, you should wrap the remaining pieces tightly in plastic wrap and refrigerate them. They'll stay fresh for about 3 to 5 days in the fridge. For the best flavor, let a refrigerated slice sit at room temperature for a few minutes before eating. This really brings out its natural sweetness. The Amish often have cool cellars or root cellars for optimal produce storage, extending freshness. A beautiful aspect of Amish farming is the integral role of family. Children are involved in farm work from a young age, learning practical skills and observation techniques directly from their parents and grandparents. This hands-on education is how the Amish points for picking watermelons, and countless other farming insights, are passed down through generations. It's not just about labor, it's about fostering a deep connection to the land and understanding natural cycles. This collective knowledge ensures that traditional wisdom thrives, making each new generation adept at sustainable agriculture. The harvest, especially of abundant crops like watermelons, often has a strong community component in Amish life. Excess produce is shared among families, sold at local farm stands, or preserved for colder months. This communal spirit reinforces the value of their labor and ensures that no effort goes to waste. When you buy a watermelon from an Amish farm stand, you're not just getting a fruit, you're partaking in a tradition of quality, care, and community. The shared knowledge of picking ripe fruit ensures the whole community benefits from the best produce. The observational skills honed by picking ripe watermelons aren't limited to just this one fruit. The principles of looking for a field spot, checking the stem, assessing weight, and understanding color cues can be applied to many other types of produce. Think about picking cantaloupe, squash, or even gourds. The Amish approach teaches us to be more observant consumers, to engage our senses, and to trust our judgment when selecting fresh food. It's about developing an intuitive understanding of nature's signals, a skill increasingly lost in our modern world. At its heart, the Amish points for picking watermelons embody the art of observation. It's about slowing down, paying close attention to detail, and interpreting the subtle cues that nature provides. In a world often rushed, the Amish remind us of the value of truly seeing and understanding our food. This isn't just about finding the best melon, it's about fostering a deeper connection to where our food comes from and appreciating the intricate processes of growth and ripening. It's a skill that improves with practice, much like any art form. After applying all these Amish points, the ultimate proof, of course, is in the taste. A perfectly ripe, farm-fresh watermelon selected with care will be incredibly sweet, juicy, and fragrant. The flesh will be firm yet tender, vibrant in color, and simply bursting with flavor. There's truly no comparison to a melon that has been allowed to fully mature and harvested at its peak. So, next time you're ready to enjoy this quintessential summer fruit, remember these traditional tips and prepare for a truly delicious experience. One crucial factor often overlooked by consumers is seasonal timing. Watermelons are summer fruits, and their peak season is typically from June through August in most regions. Trying to pick a perfectly ripe watermelon outside of its natural growing season will always be more challenging, as the fruits might be imported or force-grown. The Amish, deeply connected to seasonal cycles, only sell watermelons when they are naturally at their best. Buying in season greatly increases your chances of finding a delicious, ripe melon. It's all about working with nature, not against it. The Amish approach to agriculture, with its emphasis on observation, natural methods, and patience, offers a valuable lesson in sustainable farming. These practices not only yield superior produce but also contribute to healthier soil, cleaner water, and thriving ecosystems. In an era where food production faces numerous challenges, the traditional wisdom embodied in these Amish points towards a more resilient and environmentally friendly future for agriculture. It's a reminder that sometimes the simplest, oldest ways are indeed the best. Let's consider the difference between a watermelon picked using these Amish methods versus one from a typical supermarket. Supermarket melons are often picked based on logistical schedules, sometimes before full ripeness, to ensure they survive transit. They may lack the depth of flavor and juiciness that comes from ripening completely on the vine. Amish selected melons, however, prioritize peak ripeness and flavor, offering a superior culinary experience. It's a trade-off between convenience and quality, and the Amish firmly stand on the side of quality. Let's elaborate on the knocking test, as it's such a staple. When you tap a ripe watermelon, that hollow drum-like sound is due to the internal structure of the fruit. The flesh is firm and dense, and the water content is high, creating a resonant cavity. An underripe melon will have denser, less developed flesh, leading to a duller, more thuddy sound. An overripe melon might sound a bit mushy or produce a splat sound as the internal structure begins to break down. It's all about finding that perfect resonance, a subtle science mastered through practice. Remember the webbing we mentioned? Those brown, rough lines or patches on the rind are often called sugar spots by some growers, and they're usually a very good sign. These marks indicate that bees have repeatedly brushed against the watermelon's surface during pollination. More bee activity often means more successful pollination, which in turn leads to a sweeter, more flavorful fruit. So, don't shy away from a watermelon with a few webby marks, embrace them as nature's seal of approval, a sign of a busy bee, and a potentially delicious treat inside. Let's go deeper into the tendril. The tendril is essentially a specialized stem that helps the watermelon vine cling to things for support. As the watermelon matures and no longer needs nourishment from the main vine, the tendril naturally withers and dries up. This is the plant's way of signaling that its fruit is ready for harvest. A green, lively tendril means the fruit is still actively growing and drawing nutrients, thus not fully ripe. It's a clear, biological indicator that an experienced farmer, like those in the Amish community, can easily read. The ground itself plays a vital role. Watermelons prefer well-drained, sandy loam soil, rich in organic matter. This type of soil allows the roots to grow deeply, absorb nutrients efficiently, and ensures proper drainage, preventing root rot. Amish farmers often amend their soil with compost and natural fertilizers to create these ideal conditions. The health of the soil directly impacts the vine's vigor and, consequently, the quality, size, and sweetness of the watermelon. It's a testament to their holistic approach to farming. Everything is connected. A common misconception is that a bigger watermelon is always a riper or sweeter one. This isn't necessarily true. While healthy, well-nourished vines can produce large fruits, size alone isn't an indicator of ripeness. A smaller watermelon picked at its peak can be far sweeter and juicier than a giant one picked too early. The Amish focus on the ripeness indicators we've discussed, not just sheer bulk. They know that quality, not just quantity, is what truly matters when it comes to a delicious harvest. Don't be fooled by size alone. Watermelons are warmth-loving plants, and consistent warm temperatures are vital for their development. Ideal growing temperatures are typically between 70 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit, 21 to 29 Celsius. If temperatures dip too low, growth can be stunted, and sugar development slows. Too high, and the plants can get stressed. The Amish, with their reliance on natural cycles, understand that perfect weather conditions are a gift, and they plant and harvest accordingly, always respecting the climate's role in their crop's success. This attention to temperature impacts the final taste significantly. Beyond the tendril, take a look at the stem end of the watermelon, where it was attached to the vine. This area should ideally be slightly indented or cupped. This indentation is another subtle sign that the watermelon has been well nourished and has fully plumped out during its growth. If the stem end is flat or protruding, it might indicate it was picked too early or had inconsistent growth. It's a less obvious clue than the field spot, but one that expert Amish farmers often add to their mental checklist of ripeness indicators. Sometimes people confuse the field spot with a sweet spot, which can be a myth. While the field spot is a reliable indicator of ripeness because it's where the melon sat on the ground to mature, there isn't a specific sweet spot on the rind that guarantees extra sweetness. The entire melon, if ripe, should be sweet throughout. The field spot just tells us it had enough time to develop those sugars uniformly. Don't be swayed by marketing gimmicks, trust the tried and true physical indicators favored by generations of Amish farmers. The continued use of these traditional watermelon picking techniques within the Amish community is a testament to the power of intergenerational knowledge transfer. Unlike many modern agricultural systems where knowledge can be centralized or proprietary, Amish farming wisdom is shared freely and learned through direct experience. This ensures that valuable insights, honed over centuries, continue to thrive and produce excellent results. Each generation adds to this living library of agricultural wisdom, a truly sustainable model for food production and selection. Finally, the Amish points embody a deep respect for the produce itself. Each watermelon is not just a commodity but the result of careful cultivation, natural processes, and human labor. This respect translates into wanting to select and consume the fruit at its absolute best. It's a mindful approach to food that values quality, freshness, and the journey from seed to table. By adopting these methods, we not only get a better watermelon, but we also cultivate a greater appreciation for our food system and the hard work behind it. Let's quickly recap these invaluable Amish points for picking fresh, juicy watermelons. First, look for that deep, buttery yellow field spot on the underside. Second, check the rind for a dull, dark green color and uniform shape, free of major blemishes. Third, perform the knocking test, listening for a deep, hollow drum sound. Fourth, feel for a watermelon that feels heavy for its size. Fifth, inspect the stem and tendril, they should be dry and shriveled. And finally, don't forget the positive signs like webbing from busy bees. Combine these observations for the best results. Now armed with the wisdom of generations of Amish farmers, you're ready to tackle your next watermelon selection with confidence. These simple, yet incredibly effective, techniques rely on your senses and a deeper understanding of nature's cues. So, next time you're at the farmer's market or even the grocery store, take a moment, slow down, and apply these Amish points. You'll be amazed at the difference a truly ripe and juicy watermelon can make to your summer experience. Happy picking, and enjoy that delicious, sweet reward. We hope you enjoyed learning these traditional methods for picking the best watermelons. If you found these Amish points helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more educational content on sustainable living, traditional crafts, and fascinating insights into different cultures. Let us know in the comments below, which Amish point are you most excited to try first? We love hearing your thoughts and experiences. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.